everybody, this is Loki Jen coming to you from Casa Del Loki. Today we have a very special guest. This is a person who's come out to California to try medical cannabis. So I figured we'd share his experience with you. Let's go ahead and start with your name.
I am Brad P. My weight is 230. I am 6'2", and from Wichita Falls, Texas.
Nice. And what condition is it that you have that brought you out here to try medical cannabis?
2 nerve diseases of the head, one being occipital neuralgia and the other being a form of facial neuralgia.
So really, basically, what does that mean?
That translates into constant burning pain throughout my entire scalp, temples, back of my head, forehead, eyes, and my upper cheekbones 24/7. That is also accompanied by facial attacks that can be extremely intense.
Okay, so they've determined through the testing and by sticking needles into the back of your head that it was actually a physical condition. It's actually a physical nerve condition. So what did the doctors and specialists try to treat you with? What are the different things that they gave you as far as options for treatment, from surgery to medications and whatnot?
I have tried pretty much all headache medications, including migraine, cluster headaches, tension headaches. I've also used TENS unit, massage therapy, physical therapy, chiropractics, holistic approaches, and anything else I could possibly try or think of.
Okay, so when you say that you used medications, this is over the counter as well as prescribed, or?
This is definitely prescribed. One of the most detrimental medications I was put on was methadone, and I'm just about a month and a week or more off of it, and it was so detrimental to me, and I didn't even realize till I had gotten off of it. Even though I was on a low dose, it made me gain about 60 to 70 pounds in 1 year, and also completely changed my personality, made me just really housebound, and just really trashed me out in a way.
Okay, and for those of us that don't know what methadone is, what exactly is methadone?
Methadone is a man-made synthetic form of heroin, and a lot of times it's used for heroin addicts to detox them off of heroin. But in my case, methadone happens to be one of the few opiates that we have that works neuropathically, and that was why the decision was made to go with that medication.
Okay, so at the highest point, how many medications were you taking a day? We'll say a day.
I've probably been on at least 12 or 13 a day.
12 or 13 different medications a day.
Yeah.
Now, were they all to treat the ailments, or were they?
These are. I also struggle with depression and severe anxiety, agoraphobia, and panic attacks, as well as generalized anxiety and social anxiety.
Are these a direct result of the illness?
They are genetic, as well as my depression, and it's very prevalent throughout both sides of my family genes. And so all my aunts and everything have the same sort of deal going on.
Okay, so it's kind of complicated. You got this physical issue as well as some genetic issues. And so far they tried medications, physical therapy, acupuncture, that kind of stuff.
And finally, in 2012, after I had another nerve block done, and it was successful for another month. And then the third one I had was no longer successful, and I ended up getting referred to a surgeon in Washington, D.C. at Georgetown, who did surgery on my head August 29th of 2012 and excised or removed my greater and lesser occipital nerves bilaterally. All my pain is bilateral, meaning on both sides of my head and face. And so he went in and cut out my greater and lesser on both sides. Then he went in and cut out my zygomatic and auriculotemporalis nerves on both sides. Then he went in through my eyelids up to my forehead, where my nerves across here were buried and grown into my bone, and he had to dig them out and free them up from surrounding tissue and blood vessels.
Okay, it seems pretty dramatic. Did the surgery help?
The surgery was actually not a success, and I have progressively gotten worse since.
So the treatment actually made it worse.
Definitely.
Okay. So I'm seeing a pattern here. I guess we can kind of see why you came to cannabis. Let's touch on that a little bit. When was the first time you used cannabis, and was it for medical reason or recreation?
First time I used it was recreationally, introduced to me by a roommate in college at the age of 19.
So in college you used cannabis recreationally. Was there a reason why you chose cannabis over any other kind of recreational thing like alcohol or something like that?
I did drink. I was a blackout drunk, so that was not good, and I was on a lot of meds, so I ended up having to quit drinking for the most part. And I couldn't go to class the next day after drinking, but I could smoke all I wanted and never have a hangover and go to class, be on time, no problem.
So it didn't impair you mentally or physically? Did it impair you physically at all? Did you get any lag or anything like that?
No, definitely in my college years, no physical impairment.
Nice. Okay, so college, you were fine, then you developed this illness, these two illnesses you go through, several years of different treatments from surgeries to medications. What brought you back to medical cannabis? What brought you back to cannabis?
First off, I would have to say Colorado has probably been a big player in all this, as it has changed the market in Texas, and it has actually made it a little more affordable for me being in Texas when I have to obtain things there. But in Texas, you don't have many. It's whatever your friend has. You don't have a choice.
It's a black market.
It is. It's a black market, and the other thing I don't like is I don't deal with people that aren't just doing cannabis. I don't like to deal with anybody who is messing with pills or other drugs. That was one of my things I always stood by.
That's understandable. So, in your state, the only way to access cannabis, medical or otherwise, is through the black market. So this is, I'm assuming this is what prompted you to move to a medical state to
Undoubtedly. I mean, the lab tested products we have here are, can give us empirical evidence and actual percentages. I never even know the percentage in Texas of what I'm smoking, what's in it, or the makeup, or sometimes I don't even get a strain